It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, the City of Jesup's Grievance Board has spoken and rendered its decision Thursday afternoon. The decision is to rubber stamp the decision made by the Jesup City Council 6-0 vote in the termination of Jesup Police Chief Mike Lane's employment, which was carried out by Jesup City Manager Mike Deal. Here was the decision by the Grievance Committee on Thursday. First member W.D. Altman makes the motion, seconded by member Alma Gibbs, and the unanimous vote by the Grievance Committee.
Well, after listening to all the evidence and everything and testimony from both sides, and after discussion with the group, after unlimited discussion with the group, and everybody putting in their say-so, I would like to make a motion that we uphold the city manager's decision.
I second the motion. This is Alma.
I have a motion and a second to affirm the city manager's decision. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries.
After the vote, the Grievance Committee wanted a letter that they wrote explaining their decision read into the minutes. The letter reads as follows. It says the Grievance Committee had two goals during this process. One, to corroborate the actions of Chief Mike Lane that led to the dismissal of Police Chief Mike Lane from the City of Jesup. If the allegations were factual, was City Manager Mike Deal's disciplinary action permissible under the current policies and procedures, City of Jesup Employee Handbook, and standards of conduct? It is not for the Grievance Committee to decide what action should have been taken regarding this matter. However, it was the responsibility of the committee to verify that the actions taken were within the guidelines listed in the City of Jesup Employee Handbook, Policies and Procedures Manual, and the Jesup Police Department Standard Operating Procedures Manual. Chief Lane admitted under oath to having an inappropriate sexually charged in nature conversation with a subordinate, which included detailed specifics regarding oral sex. Also, during the Grievance Committee hearing process, there were several individuals who testified on Chief Lane's behalf. However, some of these individuals admitted the conversation in question was inappropriate, including City Commissioner Ray House, who stated under oath that the conversation in question was inappropriate in nature. Also, Lieutenant Greg Rozier, Director of Internal Affairs of the City of Jesup Police Department, who investigates allegations of wrongdoing by police serving on the local force, he stated under oath that the conversation was inappropriate as well. City of Jesup Employee Handbook clearly states such conduct will result in disciplinary action being taken up to including termination. Handbook reads, sexually harassing conduct in the workplace, whether physical or verbal, committed by a supervisor or non-supervisory personnel, is also prohibited. The behavior includes, but is not limited to, commentary about an individual's body, sexually degrading words to describe an individual, offensive comments, off-color language or jokes, innuendos, and sexually suggested objects, books, magazines, photographs, cartoons, or pictures. Jesup Police Department Standard Operating Procedures Manual 5-2, Rules, Regulations, and Procedures, Section A, Standards of Conduct, Paragraph 15, Professional Image reads, employees of the department are to work diligently to maintain a professional image. Any behavior that would reflect negatively on the department or to violate the public's trust is simply prohibited. Based on these factual findings, the committee unanimously agrees City Manager Mike Deal was well within his scope of disciplinary options to terminate Chief Mike Lane. Grievance Committee considers this matter closed and will no longer be commenting on the issue. Once again, a unanimous decision by the Grievance Committee for the City of Jesup to uphold the termination of Mike Lane's employment as Jesup Police Chief. Lane, represented by Attorney Hugh McCullough at the hearing. WIFO had a chance to get his reaction to the board's decision. We'll hear from him right after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Following the Grievance Board's decision on Thursday afternoon, WIFO-FM had a chance to talk with Mike Lane's attorney, Hugh McCullough, to get his thoughts on the Grievance Board's ruling.
Naturally, we're very disappointed. And that, as far as the procedure within the City of Jesup personnel policy, that's the end of the line.
So I'm just curious, I asked you before, you're not representing him in the lawsuit because
No.
I said you did a good job discrediting the lawsuit in the hearing.
No, I'm not representing him in the lawsuit. He's being represented in the lawsuit by some attorneys from Savannah, Pat O'Connor and Patty Paul.
Like I said, I'm sure you've been part of these proceedings before. I just want to know, do you think it was a fair process?
Yes, we presented everything that we wanted to present. And we were glad that it was an open meeting. We thought it was important for Chief Lane's side to get out for people to hear where they got it wrong in far as the accusations in the lawsuit. As you know, this thing's been stirred around in the media for the last month and a half, been posted online and things of that nature, and Chief Lane's story hadn't been told, and we got that out. We respectfully disagree with the interpretation of the evidence that was presented by the grievance committee, but we have to respect the decision.
In the grievance committee, they said, I'll go back to Elliott's closing argument. He said the lawsuit had nothing to do with the determination whether by Mike Deal was the deciding factor. Do you agree with that?
Let's just put it this way. The lawsuit was served on February the 2nd during the middle of the day or early in the day. They went into executive session that evening. Mike Deal said that he wasn't aware of the lawsuit. He hadn't been seen it at that point until the commissioner showed it to him in that executive committee meeting. If you think that had nothing to do with their decision, I think I have some lakefront property in Arizona for you.
And it was always by Mike Deal's testimony he struggled with the decision, and
quite clearly he did.
The insinuation was he got strong-armed that night by the commissioners to take action he didn't really feel comfortable doing.
Well, it was they by motion and that carried ordered him to fire Mike Lane.
Right.
I'll get your bag.
And at some point during the hearing, during Mike Deal's testimony, got too many mics in this thing.
Right.
During his testimony, I don't remember if it was from Mr. Elliott or from one of the committee members, but he was asked, well, they suggested that you fire him, and then I came back and asked him, I said, that wasn't a suggestion,
Correct.
He said, no, it was not a suggestion.
Right. Well, again, we appreciate you talking with us, and again, thank you.
No, it's my pleasure.
And again, those comments of Mike Lane's attorney, Hugh McCullough, and McCullough represented Mike Lane in the grievance hearing. Once again, he says he's not representing Lane in the lawsuit that's been filed against him, along with the city of Jesup and the city manager, by those three former female Jesup employees of the Jesup Police Department: Patricia Brantley, Gracie Straney, and Gracie Connor. City of Jesup commissioners meet this morning for a call meeting at 10 a.m. On the agenda, another executive session to discuss a legal issue. Also on the agenda, the Norfolk Railroad overpass, and that meeting is taking place this morning at 10 a.m. One other note regarding the grievance committee's decision: according to the city's handbook regarding grievance hearings, it clearly states the decision by the grievance committee shall be final. The last sentence in the committee letter reads that the grievance committee considers this matter closed and will no longer be commenting on this issue. Since the city council 6-0 vote and the city manager is terminating Mike Lane's tenure as chief of police, two men have been handling that responsibility of police chief in a dual role, as both Perry Morgan and Alex Reddish have been assigned by the city manager to act as police chief. Question now is raised: how does the city proceed in the future, and who will be named acting police chief for the city of Jesup? How soon will that take place, and what will be the plan of action moving towards that goal? No one from the city is talking on the record due to the pending lawsuit, but off the record, several have told WIFO FM that they're very upset about the so-called culture that's been taking place at the Jesup Police Department. And again, from the testimony of several officers who testified at the hearing, they didn't see any problems with the department. Commissioners we talked to state there needs to be some serious changes in how the department is run from this point forward, and we'll continue to follow that story as it develops. Once more, the Jesup Grievance Committee upholds the city manager's action of terminating the employment of City Police Chief Mike Lane. Their decision is final, and again, the matter is considered closed. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor of the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. A couple of final notes in news. Again, the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce getting ready for a quarterly membership luncheon. Rainier Advanced Materials will present State of Education, announcement of the Page Star Student and Teacher of the Year. It's sponsored by Georgia Power and Marshland Credit Union. It's going to take place on Tuesday, April 20th at the Pine Forest Country Club from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Buffet lines will open at 11:30. Program will start at 12 noon. Guest speaker is Sherry Bowen, Principal and Director of Solid Rock Christian Academy. Dr. Sean Kelly, Superintendent of Schools. Dr. Lonnie Roberts, President of Coastal Pines Technical College. And tickets are available at the Chamber of Commerce. Early bird special, $25 now up until Wednesday, April 14th. $35 for non-members. Members and walk-ins after Wednesday, April 14th. Make your reservations now. Call the Chamber at 427-2028. Once again, the date, Tuesday, April the 20th. The announcement, the Star Student and Star Teacher at Wayne County High School. Reminder that on Friday, March 26th, a week from today, we'll have in studio as our special guest on the world famous Butch and Bob Show, Wayne County School Superintendent Dr. Sean Kelly. And Mr. Kelly takes over April 1st. Been in Wayne County this past month, getting familiar with the system and lining up personnel for the upcoming school year. And Dr. Sean Kelly will join us a week from today here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. That's going to do it for the latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.